of Earth. Welcome to this week's installment of Bryan's Rock and Roll Album Diary, whatever we're going to call it. Rough week in terms of spending time on the album, but I kind of alluded to that last week, that when you have a job and you're there full time, you got to make the best time you can to do this work. So, and also, like I mentioned last week, I spent a little bit more time around the drum kit. So I'll tell you what I managed to get done this week. I sat down a couple of nights this week and started mapping out one of the songs. I'm going to do this probably one every 2 weeks until I get to the point where it's time to record. I started out with one song. I'm not going to tell you the title or any of the lyrics just yet. I'll sneak that stuff in over time, But it's a song that has a little bit to do with spirituality, and it is about an experience with an animal. This week I sat down with a tablet and I looked at the lyrics, and I basically did some mapping where I said, okay, this is how many measures I want to do stuff, and I'm actually counting it out and stuff like that. So when I finally got to the end of the week, I sat down with my iPhone. And I found out a really cool trick that my metronome will run while my voice recorder runs. So I could record the guitar piece here and have the metronome running so I could hear the beat clicking. And then this weekend I sat down with what I recorded off the guitar and behind the drum kit and started actually writing some of the drum parts. And I'm trying to push myself not only to get back behind the drum kit and build my chops back up, but also to do some things that I might not have been comfortable doing in the past. Some certain types of fills, combinations with my hand and my feet. I've had a double kick pedal for a while. I've been okay at it, but I'm wanting to do some more intricate stuff. So I'm pushing myself to do this project. Also in this week, a little bit of a reality check about how aggressively I was going to be able to get stuff done. A few minutes ago I said I'm doing basically one song every couple of weeks. That's probably going to be a realistic pace. I was thinking I could actually just lay out all the recordings for the guitar pieces so that I could start building drum parts, but when I really started to look at lyrics versus what I had written on the guitar versus what would actually work rhythmically on the drums, I started to see, no, this stuff needs a little bit more work, which is it's good. I figured that out. So, one song every couple of weeks. I'll spend another week working on this one song, and we'll get there. A couple other things I started looking at this week was, I mentioned equipment purchases that are coming up, and I'd like to put off or avoid as many unnecessary purchases as possible, especially if I'm going to end up in a studio environment to do a lot of the recording. But I thought that I would poll the audience, whoever's out there watching. I feel like I'm going to need two things sort of unavoidably. I'm going to need a digital interface, something that I can run a mic cable from an amplifier or from drum kit to a device to my computer. And there's a handful, and there's some pre-Sonus equipment out there. There's Audio Technica, a couple of things like that. So if anybody has any input on that, I'd like to hear what you think. And the other thing that I'm looking at for purchase sometime this year, hopefully a little bit later in the year, is a guitar amp. I have a really great acoustic amp that my wife bought me several years ago for Christmas, and it's wonderful. I'd like to pick up something that's a tube amp for electric guitar, that also has a data out in the back. I've seen a couple of them, but I wanted to get some opinions and see what you all think. So if you've got any input, please hit my YouTube page and send me some comments. I'm also going to put this on Facebook, so if you want to put some comments there, I'd appreciate that. Anyway, I got a lot of work to do, but I have managed to map out a whole bunch of stuff for this one song. I've counted it all out, and I'm looking, I think pretty realistically, this is going to be about a 4-minute song, and I just think it's going to be kind of cool. It's pretty laid back, and definitely rock and roll. So hope you all had a good week, and I look forward to hearing your comments. And I'm going to put my hearing protection back in and start playing some drums. Thanks. You guys have a great week.